Australia. This is reclaimed swampland. It's a lot of man-made drainage that's taken place to drain. It's a black, heavy clay soil, high magnesium, makes it very sticky, very high nutrient holding capacity, and holds water really well, which is fine when it's dry, but when it's wet it's very difficult. Parents moved here in the 50s and were conventional vegetable growers, and as was I when I left school, and been organic vegetable grower for about 12-13 years. Main crops are asparagus, onions, and a big variety of other things, broccoli, cabbage, capsicum, eggplant, corn, beans. I didn't like using chemicals. Didn't think it was a great idea to put poison on food. So we started playing around. We used to grow potatoes then, so we tried potatoes with half chemical fertiliser, water soluble, and half chook pellets. That went okay, and then next year we tried with just chook pellets, and that was alright, and then we started trying other crops and felt that it was going to work. A big hurdle is the unknown, something new, something, this is our business, this is how I feed my family, so it needs to pay financially. A really big hurdle is farming in an area with conventional farmers who are your friends. It's a very big move. It can be a very big move, and we always thought, well, if it doesn't work, we can always go back farm that way. Just the thing about doing something different in your area, I think it's really difficult for a lot of people. I think it stops a lot of people doing it. It can stop me. I'm a bit thick-skinned and it didn't bother me too much. But I think people should not worry too much about what their neighbours are saying. I just sometimes worry if neighbours aren't saying something, doing something right. But people should go with their gut feeling, what they feel is right. Well, we approached some agents. First agent we approached in the Melbourne produce market, and we didn't get a really resounding, I thought we'd be welcomed with open arms, but really weren't. And I later found out they get a lot of inquiries and people don't go on with it, so they said yes, they would take some of our produce, and so we started growing, we got certification, and they ended up taking quite a lot of what we grew. Agents in Melbourne, Sydney and Brisbane predominantly, a little bit to Tasmania, a little bit to South Australia and Perth, but mainly obviously the closer markets are our biggest markets. There's different certifiers in Australia. NASA, which is the National Association for Sustainable Agriculture, is one of the Australian certifiers, and they are aligned, or their standards are similar to iPhone, to the international organisation. That process took 3 years. We were in conversion for 3 years. We were still selling as organic, but it was in conversion to organic. And then after 3 years we got organic certification. It didn't cost a huge amount. There's, I remember figures, it was several $100s at the time. And the beauty in those days was you could get straight into conversion status. Whereas now you're in a pre-conversion and you can't sell that produce as organic. So you've got to farm organically but sell conventionally the first year, and then the conversion period is then 2 years, and the organic period follows that. We are visited once a year. We show our records with all the inputs and the sales. So the sales need to match up with the area that we're growing. So if we're selling farm or if we're crop, then we're planting, then it's checked more. Samples are taken. If we haven't got crops in at the time, they'd take weeds, checking for any chemical residue. Our vegetables are also checked at markets, just check randomly. And we also send crops off to get tested as well. I think you can farm organically and not go through the rigmarole of certification. Certainly the markets, you know, the bigger markets are sold to specialty stores, and also the supermarkets now, you need certification with those. So you probably need to find, you know, where your market's going to be, what you grow well, what has been grown in your area. Trying to be closer to nature, try and work with nature, not belt it around the ears. Let things happen a little bit more naturally. No poisons on the place. It's got to be a good thing. And just learning all the time about how things balance, and got a bit of the ball, a bit more. There's quick fixes aren't there. It's sort of a longer term. Growing, it's difficult. There's a lot of challenges and a lot of extra challenges over and above conventional growers. But I think most people, believe in what they're doing and consider that it's working, and just got to stick at it. And if you've got a good customer base, then generally rewarded for the extra work. I only see it getting better. There is no question it's a good way of farming. The question is, how economic is it?